Everyone. I'm Mary Ford Nail. I'm with the City of Frederick's Department of Economic Development. I'm the Economic Development Manager there. I've been there about 8 years. The city is in a great spot right now in the state of Maryland. Things are rocking and rolling for our economy here. So today, we're going to focus a little bit more on the small business aspect of resources and programs and what's going on in and around the city so that we can get plugged into some of those resources today. So let's see how we can do this here. There we go. So before we get started, I just wanted to go over some of the key trends that are going on in and around the city so you have a good idea. The city and the county are the fastest growing area in the state of Maryland. We are an economic driver all of our own. And so with that comes companies that are located here, companies that are growing here. We have a great talent pool. And all of that is converging here in Frederick. So we're very fortunate to see an upward tick on that. At the city level, recently we had some city charter changes. That was a transition from, we had aldermen, alderwomen, and that changed to a city council. We have the mayor who leads the executive branch, the council is the legislative branch. And our council right now is at 5 members. It's growing with this election cycle to 7 members. We're going to have some new people in our city helping to guide us and into the future. So looking forward to that. We'll have 5 districts. You'll see them here on the screen. And we'll have 2 at-large members. So along with some of the things that are going on in the city, we've had some significant projects like the police headquarters, which finished recently on this side of town. The Downtown Hotel and Conference Center, I'll talk about that a little bit later. West Side Regional Park is going to be a big development project with parkland type of usage, a library on the city's west side, and then we have some renovations going on at our baseball stadium here. So that's just a snapshot of what's going on in the city. So with everything going on, there are also challenges. And here, particularly because of our geographic location, we're starting to see some of the impact with the federal government shutdown, as well as the pullback on some of the federal contracts. So how does that impact us? A business could have had a federal contract and there's a pause. And what that means is they may have vamped up employment for that federal contract, and now they have to take a step back on that. So we're trying to work to try to keep that talent here. We want people to stay in our community. So we provide connections and links for people to be able to get plugged into resources. So please, if you know of a business that's is facing that challenge, we have a link on our website now that is a list of resources for businesses that are impacted by the federal shutdown. It's on our Business in Frederick page. So please know that. And also on our city page for individuals, residents, we also have a link there too. And I'm happy to send that out to Julia later. So, businessinfrederick.com. If you go at the very top, there's an alert button, and you can click on that. That'll take you to the business page. And then on the city page, there's also an alert button that's strictly for the resident side, the human side, I say, of this. And that's everything from job resources to food resources to things like that. So please tell your friends, tell your neighbors that are experiencing this, that there are some resources out there. Some of the key initiatives and projects that we're going to be dealing with this year, not this year, in the future, is the widening of 15. That's very much needed. We have future bike and pedestrian trails. And
do you know where they are? I'm curious, where they're planning for?
They have some funding for the 15 project. Is that, yeah.
The bike and pedestrian.
Oh, you can go, we have on the city website, you can get an update on what's planned and some of the connectivity. I'm happy to send a link out on that too as well. And then on housing, we do have a lot of housing. If you have been around the city of Frederick, you see a lot of projects going up and down. There's definitely construction happening in our marketplace right now. Frederick, what's great about Frederick? We bring people in all the time and we have a great story to tell, right? We have everything from Fort Detrick to the airport. We have the Frederick National Laboratory for Cancer Research right here in our community. AstraZeneca has a $2 billion investment in our community with their biologics plant. And we have colleges, a very thriving historic district, and lots of parks and so forth. I did hear the high wheel race is going to take a pause next year. I don't know if you heard that, but the high wheel race, this right here. I was surprised to hear that, but anyhow, they're going to take a year off. I saw that on social media, so hopefully it's correct. Never know, got to check. And we do have sports teams too as well. And I will apologize, I'm having some vocal issues today, so I am really sorry about that. Anyhow, we continue to get some great national recognition as a best place to live across the country. That's people want to be here because we've got a lot of great things happening here in the city. So what does economic development do? We are dealing with attracting new businesses here. We're dealing with keeping businesses like yours here in Frederick, watching our businesses grow, employ more people. We're helping to develop neighborhoods, and you see a lot of that growth going on, especially in this area. We work with entrepreneurs, and we deal with workforce development, developing new programs for workforce. So this is going to give you a little bit of an overview, again, of the city. Second largest in the state of Maryland. I think what's really cool is you guys are all part of 4,000 plus businesses just here in the city of Frederick. So please know that's here. And we're continuing to see an uptick of the number of businesses that are happening here in our market. The city is located in the county, but we're the economic kind of engine of the county. When you think about it, we're small in size, but very concentrated. And you can see that our tax bases, how the number of businesses, we're almost half. The number of jobs is pretty strong. And our population is roughly about a third of the entire population for the county. But again, very concentrated with the number of businesses here. In Frederick City, these are our key industry sectors. So I don't know where you fall with that and who you serve, but life sciences is a big sector for us, advanced manufacturing, technology companies, healthcare, and tourism and hospitality. In fact, we just heard from tourism this week, we're now up to 2.1 million visitors a year. That's a lot of people coming, driving our economy. Now, if I were to take this and expand it to the county, the only difference is you put agriculture in there because agriculture is a big sector for the county. I just want to include this as a list of some of the major private employers in the city. So you have an idea of who's here, who are our biggest job companies from a job perspective. And these are major public employees. So this would be government, nonprofit, and so forth. You can see those numbers are pretty strong. Now, Fort Detrick is primarily contractors. It's not necessarily military personnel, is a small percentage of who's at Fort Detrick.
Most of the people here in this room are going to be individual freelancers and
Yep.
contractors. So will you cover during
Yep,
this time
we're getting there.
city hires contractors?
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
So I didn't want to get too much into the commercial development piece, but just so you know that there are a lot of projects happening in and around the town. If you ever want to catch up on this, happy to do so. I just threw a couple of slides in here to say, here's some of the big ones that are happening, including the conference and hotel center, which is right here. You're going to be a beneficiary of that too as well with the meeting space. Huge economic impact for our community. And the Brickworks property, which is out there too. So it was really close. A lot of people want to know what's going on in their backyard. So these are really in your backyard. And then of course the stadium project. So these are significant for our Frederick community. So we're going to talk now. I really want to dive into more programs and resources that are applicable to small businesses, people like you, and why they're important. So we support entrepreneurship in a number of ways. We provide connections to all these business resources. We come out and speak, and we do connectivity to partner organizations. We provide data. If there's ever data that you need, we have so many sources that we subscribe to that could be the data you need to do your job. We are connectors. We're connectors in the community. That's why it's sometimes good to be individually, because we get to know who you are, who your key clients are, and we know all these little pockets to make those connections. And we can't promise somebody will do business with you, but we can provide a warm connection, that warm introduction. And collaboration is very important in economic development. So it is about knowing who those partner organizations, and I know, for example, CoWork has worked with the Downtown Frederick Partnership extensively. That's just one example of a community partnership. Now, our office is starting to do more business office hours at some of these partner organizations. We are currently doing at FITSI, which is our technology incubator in the city. Centra Hispano is over off the Golden Mile, and we're going to project to do some at the Asian American Center. And maybe we'll have some other future opportunities that will be great to learn at co-working spaces. What we do there is we usually have a definitive amount of time that we're there. And if people want to schedule time to talk with us, we're there, or you just want to drop in and talk. So what kinds of things do we provide? If a company needs to find a location, we can help. If they need to know how to start up, we could help. We can provide guides and so forth to get them through the processes. We can tell them where there might be incentive programs or tax credit programs. We can share with them how to promote their businesses. We have a monthly business newsletter. Love to have you guys subscribe to it. We put some good content out there. There's an events calendar on our webpage. So if you want to know where maybe there's some free classes to upskill your LinkedIn skills, or I want to learn how to do my QuickBooks better, there's free classes out there to do that. So we have a lot of those were posted on our website, our events calendar. So good information. If you need workforce, if you need training, we can make those connections for you. And sometimes there's industry-specific programming. And like I said, you just can't, the connection piece is so important in what we do. So some of our small business resource partners that we work very collaboratively with, the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, and Maryland Women's Business Center. Now the SBDC and Maryland Women's Business Center have a counselor that will meet with you right here in our community for free, one-on-one. They'll work with you with your business plan. If you don't have a business plan, they'll help you get your business plan. And why is that important? That's your roadmap to success. So knowing that we have that skill and that talent here, and they'll meet with you one-on-one for free, why not take advantage of it? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I've taken advantage of this service with the woman all the way on the left. Her name is like a speaker.
Karen Calancis, and she's amazing. Karen's Maryland Women's Business Center. And Karen is retiring, but she's still going to do some contract work for them. So we'll still be able to use her a little bit in our community, which I'm really happy because she is phenomenal. I send people to her all the time, and she helps them get their business plan. Because there's nothing worse than having a business say, I love this, I'm passionate about this, but they don't really know how to make money at this. So you really have to think about, I can do this because I love doing it, but I think the end goal is most of us want to make a living at it, right? So it's like, how do I do that? So knowing that these tools are out there and these mentors are out there, and SCORE is another one. SCORE can be, it's not always someone from our community, but it's someone that's maybe a specialist in your business. And so you put in the portal, I'm looking for a mentor, I'm opening this type of business, or I have this kind of business, and you're matched with someone who can help. And they're like the sounding board. Who do I turn to for my target market? And how do I build my business and so forth? So just know that these are free resources, so please take advantage of them. And I just want to mention our FITSI Incubator Accelerator because you can take advantage of them too. They do have a lot of programming that helps support entrepreneurship. So please know that they're there. They do a lot more in the science and technology piece, but they are a resource for you, okay? And they've turned out a lot of people which have taken their companies and added staff, and if you're trying to grow, especially in the biotech and the tech world. Some of the other things we do in economic development, we're sponsoring entrepreneurship programs. So we're always listening for what those next ideas are for entrepreneurship programs. So I'm just telling you. One of the recent ones is the Food Business Entrepreneurship Program. Helps tell people how do I take my idea, I can bake really well, but I want to know how do I make money at it? And so the money piece, the business piece of how do I bring that business to life, whether it's a caterer or co-working for food. So just to know we have programming out there that we've developed, and this program just won an International Economic Development Award. So I think it's really cool. It's a partnership with FCC and the Office of Agriculture. And then there's pitch competitions out there. So if you haven't ever thought about that, it's an opportunity to, with this pitch competition, it's through this particular one's through the Chamber of Commerce. But the city participates, Maryland Women's Business Center participates, and at the end, you get to pitch and you win money, and it's great. But what's great about the program is they're taking you through a program they're taking you through a program to really build your business up before you do the pitch competition. And then there's the Empower program. The city is a signature sponsor of Empower. It's typically for underrepresented businesses, but they do have free networking monthly, which is always great, always a great topic, so you can come in and listen. And they have an accelerator program too with M&T Bank that will let you, when you complete the program, you can also pitch potentially for some funding. So notice the next cohort for this program will be the first quarter of next year. So we'll be pushing out information about that. Some of the other things we do in economic development, we do business retention visits. And when I say retention visits, it can be meeting with you guys. So it's meeting with a business one-on-one, listening to what their needs are, and then say, how can we connect you to programs and resources that will make you successful? So we have a team of 4 right now. We're getting ready to add another one, and we are available to help meet with you and to try to help you develop your business. Now, this is just a laundry list of programs. Again, maybe not as applicable today, could be applicable in the future, but just know at the city, economic development has its hands on what are the tax credit programs? What are the incentive programs? Are there any grants? If the state pushes out any grant programs, and they do occasionally, if they push out grant programs, we want to make sure you know about it so you can take advantage of it. So that's why I think it's good to follow our social media feeds, because we're able to get you that information. And you can see there's quite a lot of tax credit programs. Probably not as applicable, but just know that they're out there. And some of the other things too would be important to know is energy saving programs for businesses too. That might be something that you want to look into. So the city participated in a program called Good Jobs, Great Cities, and now we're doing some employment type of initiatives. So just know that's out there. We now have an Office of Opportunity and Transformation, and we are working with trying to create more apprenticeships and more returnship positions. That's people returning to work after being out maybe with childcare, taking care of parents and so forth. And we actually have the very first returnship position in the country, and the very first person's in our office. It's a 6-month position, so it's cool. And again, we're helping develop that next talent pipeline. And what can we do? Yesterday, we were at this big event at the Key Stadium all about developing careers in the construction trades. And we had contractors there and 600 high school students. We're always trying to help support workforce initiatives. So this guide would be important to you. It just gives you a lot of these facts that I talked about today, and it'll be links to those programs. We have it digitally on our website. We literally will get the print copy in a couple of weeks. But I just want to let you know we do have it available, and it will take you right to the websites for all these programs I discussed. And I do have this available. This is welcome to take a copy if you want. Needs a little updating, but generally it'll tell you what those industry sectors are here in Frederick. And it might help you with developing your client base. So depending on what you're doing, like who you need to talk to and so forth, so just to know it's available there. And if you ever did need to find bigger space, we do have commercial maps, or if you want to know what's going in around town, this map will show you, hey, what's that big building that's going up down the road here? You can find it on this map, and it'll tell you what they're planning. So it's a great way to keep an eye on that. So you want us to talk about how to do business with the city. We have a person, his name is Mr. Rod Bowens. He's the business outreach coordinator. And he is a great person to connect with because he can tell you where those opportunities might be. First step is always to register as a vendor. We can get you connected to do that. You register online. But it's good to connect with Gerard because he can learn better about your capacity and what you do and to say, how do I fit you into, maybe we have a major contract award that needs a subcontractor. And there might be contracting opportunities. But like I said, the key first step is registering, and then they also put on quarterly information sessions, so you can listen to these information sessions too. Economic development is team sport. We can't do it with the small team that we have. We have a whole lot of partners that we work with and throughout the city, county, and state. And here's a list of just a few of those partners. You can see everything from regional alliances to workforce services, to chambers, to the state, to tourism, to economic developers across the state, and so forth. So there's a lot of players that we know in town that all provide different resources to entrepreneurs. So because we know these programs and we know what they do, we know how to connect you, okay? And the ways you can stay connected to my department is we have a monthly newsletter. And we're also always looking for content. So if there's a cool new trend or an industry idea that you have that you want to propose as a potential topic, reach out to us. Read some of our articles. We have them all archived too. There might be a topic that's of a particular interest. Go back and check some of the topics. The next thing I want to tell you about though is this free press release service. If you're a business in the city or the county, the city and county economic development team partner together to provide a free press release service. You write the release, and it could be, my company just landed this new contract. My company just expanded its services. My company just opened here in Frederick. You write the release, you submit it to us, we cover the cost, it gets distributed to hundreds of media outlets. Now, we don't know what that uptick will be. It depends on your topic. But we've had companies that, I had a small company that was doing something very niche and actually had an opportunity that came to them from Japan because it got picked up by PR Web. Just know it's out there. You can use it as much as you need, but it's not for sales. It's not we're selling a service. It's about you and about what you do and so forth. There's a website. We're on all the social platforms. And we're always welcome to meet with you one-on-one to talk. And what we probably would do, which is the most efficient, is if you want one meeting, we'll bring city and county and maybe the Barrow Women's Business Center or SBDC to the table. Let's do one big meeting and we'll talk with you. And this is our team. We have a small team. Richard Griffin's been here about 20 years in the community. So Richard oversees 4 departments at the city. Each of them have a manager. I manage economic development. We have Kennedy Wilson on our team, and she's a business development specialist. We're getting ready to add an economic development specialist position that's bilingual. So look for us to expand. And Donna Goff, who's been on our team for a long time, is retiring next month. I know, I'm gonna greatly miss working with her, and she is a wealth of knowledge. But if you do see Donna, please let her know everyone's gonna miss her. But so right now, that's our team, and we're located right at City Hall, where the mayor's office is, and so forth. So that's the gist of what we have today. What kind of questions do you have for Mandy?